So today we're going to be covering how to make your own essential oil blend. And if you look online, there's not really a lot of information about this topic, and the information that is there can be a little bit confusing. It's quite complex, and if you don't really understand the lingo that's used in the industry, then it can be really confusing. So we're going to break it down into a few simple processes that you can follow. That way, by the end of this video, you should really have a good understanding of how to make your own essential oil blends at home. So stay tuned. Okay, so the best way to learn how to blend essential oils is to, first of all, we need to categorize the oils into a few specific properties. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to take the oils and separate them into different categories based on their aroma. So for example, we might have woody type oils, we might have herbaceous oils, we might have spicy oils. So we're going to break them down into their different aromas. Second of all, we're going to break them down into their note type. So you may have heard people in the essential oil industry talking about top notes, middle notes, and base notes. So that pretty much means the strength of the smell in the blend. So different notes will last for a different amount of time. And the reason that that's important is that our blends will be made up of a specific percentage of each type of note. So when you understand which oils go in which note, you know how much you can use in the blend to get a well-rounded blend. And then finally, we're going to categorize the oils based on their therapeutic benefits as well. So for example, if you're looking to make up a blend, an energizing blend, you're going to know all the essential oils that fit into the energizing category to make it a little bit easier for you. So what I'm going to do is, I've got a sheet with me, and with that sheet, it's going to have all of those categories covered. So in the description below, I'll post a link to my blog post which will cover this in a little bit more depth, but more importantly, it'll give you a download of that sheet so you can sit that sheet in front of you with your essential oils, and that way you've got an idea of knowing which essential oils fit into each category, and it's going to make things a lot easier for you. It'll be a matter of following a few simple processes and you can make up any blend that you want. Also, if you're new to essential oils, there are a few safety tips that you need to understand. So some oils are phototoxic, meaning if you apply them to the skin and then go out into the sun within 24 to 48 hours, there is the potential for some irritation to the skin. So make sure you have a good understanding of that. I'm going to leave a few notes in that blog post for you, and also any essential oils that you're using on the skin, make sure you're diluting them with a carrier oil, so the likes of the coconut oil or sweet almond oil, as essential oils are really potent, and diluting the essential oil will stop any risk of any potential problems on the skin. Okay, so the first category we're going to break the essential oils into is the aromas. So on the sheet here, which you're going to have from the blog post, we've broken the oil down into 6 different categories. So here we've got floral, citrus, woody, earthy, herbaceous, and spicy. So for example, floral, we have lavender, geranium, jasmine, vanilla, ylang ylang, rose, and neroli. So each different category has about 7 to 10 different essential oils there. Now a lot of people, if you read online, will tend to tell you that certain categories or certain aromas tend to go well together. It's not entirely true. As a general rule of thumb, an essential oil will go well with a similar essential oil in that same aroma category. So for example, if we look at our citrus oils, grapefruit, lemon, orange, bergamot, tangerine, and lemongrass, they'll all go quite well together. They're quite sweet in smell. If you've smelled a citrus oil, or even if you smell fruit, it's all generally has that very similar smell. So rather than really telling you that different categories go well together, I'd rather that you experiment and try find out what you like, because blending's a lot like an art. So what may smell good to you may not smell good to someone else. So there's no right or wrong way of doing it. It's really just looking for a blend that suits you best. Okay, so second category we're going to be splitting these essential oils up into is the notes. So we have top notes, middle notes, and base notes. And as I said earlier, the notes is basically how strong the smell is and how long the smell is going to last. So if we take a top note, for example, this is a smell that may only be around for a max of 1 to 2 hours. It's the first essential oil that you smell in a blend normally. So if you've ever, for example, if you've ever diffused essential oils before and you've used a citrus oil, so a lot of your citrus oils are top notes, you'll always smell them first, but they don't tend to be around for long. They'll only stay for 15-20 minutes, and then the smell's gone, and then you tend to pick up a lot of the other essential oils, which are generally our middle and base notes. So our middle notes, that's really the heart of the blend. The middle note will generally last around about 1 to 3 hours, and that's going to make up the majority of our blend. We'll tend to use 50% of the blend will come from that middle essential oil, but we'll get into the ratio shortly. And then the third note is our base note, or you'll often hear it called a fixative. So that's really the essential oil that has the staying power. A lot of those essential oils they use in perfumes and soaps because they can last 2, 3, 5 days, but you don't really tend to pick up that smell until last. So if you've ever used a blend in a diffuser before, after 24 hours or so, or if you put that blend on the next day, you'll generally only really smell 1 or 2 essential oils, and they'll be your base or your fixative essential oils. And then finally, the third category we're going to be using is a therapeutic category. So we're just going to break down the essential oils into its therapeutic benefits. So that's good to get a good understanding if you're using the essential oils for a specific cause. For example, if you're looking to make an energy blend, it's always good to know what type of essential oils are used to give you those effects. You may be using it as a sleep or a calming blend. So it's just good to have an idea of what essential oils fit into what category, and then you can get an idea of which ones you need to blend. And then from there, knowing all those categories, then we have a rule, and it's quite common, and we call it the 30-50-20 rule. So what we're going to do is take 30% of the blend from top notes, we're going to take 50% of the blend from our middle notes, and then we're going to take 20% of the blend from our base notes. Now this isn't a perfect strategy, but it's a good way for a beginner to get started in making blends. So from there, all we need to do is take a look at our lists, so the list that you can download, and then from there we can look at our top notes, middle notes, and base notes, and then just get a good idea of what type of oils we really like the smell of. So that's always a good way to start. Find a couple of oils that you enjoy. So for me, I really enjoy pink grapefruit, and I love frankincense as well. So they're my 2 oils I'm going to start with. You might want to start with more, but now what I'm going to do is check the list and figure out what type of notes those essential oils are. So frankincense is a base note, and then our pink grapefruit will be a top note. So now what I'll do is, because we're missing a middle note, I'm going to figure out an oil that's a middle note that we can add in here that I quite like the smell of. So I'm going to go with rosemary. Okay, so we've got 3 oils to start. I recommend starting with 3 oils. You don't need to start with 3, but if you're really just beginning, it's better off to start with less, and then as you get more advanced, you can then start to add in extra oils. So from here, all we're going to do, we've got some cotton buds here. We're just going to put a drop on each, put the cotton buds together, and we're just going to have a smell. Now, if one of those oils I don't particularly like the smell of, all I'm going to do is drop it out, and I'm going to replace it with another oil from that same note. So for example, if I dropped out pink grapefruit, which is a top note, I may wish to bring in sweet orange, which is also a top note. Okay, so we're just going to put a drop on each. Okay, so from here, nice and simple, we're going to bring the cotton buds together and just move it back and forth and have a smell. See what you pick up. So the rosemary, I'm not a huge fan of the rosemary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the rosemary. So if we look, so that was one of our middle notes. So now I'm going to pick something else. Okay, so I'm going to replace that with cypress. So we're just going to get another bud here, or you can just turn the bud around. Bring the 3 together again. So I quite like that smell, so that's a lot better. And that's pretty much how you make your blend. So it's just about experimenting, go out and buy a ton of these, and then it's just mixing it up. So when you do eventually get to the point where you want to make a blend and stick to that 30, 50, 20 rule. So a good way of doing it is, let's say for example we're using 10 drops in total. So we'll take 3 drops from the top note, 5 drops from the middle note, 2 drops from the base note. And then you want to be storing it in something like a little glass jar. If you're going to be applying it to the skin, remember you want to be using a carrier oil with that. But that's really it. It's just about experimenting. There's no right or wrong with this. If you're looking to get the therapeutic doses, go back and look on the list that will be down below in the description. There'll be a link there. And on that therapeutic list, you'll have your energizing oils, calming oils, detoxifying oils, anti-anxiety oils. So anything you need there. As I said, it's not a science, it's all about experimenting, but from what we've covered today, that's all you really need. It just gives you a basic idea of some of the categories that you need to be putting your oils into, and then it's just following a couple of basic rules. So that's it. If you do have any questions with regards to making your own essential oil blends, just leave a comment down in the comment section below. If you feel like this can add value to someone, or someone that's using essential oils and doesn't understand how to make your own blends, feel free to share it on. If you want some of my favorite essential oil blends, I'll be posting a few on Instagram at oilsguru1, so head over there and you can get some of my blends that I use every single day. So that's it. It's just about trying new blends, experimenting, throwing a few different essential oils together, and just follow those basic rules, and I guarantee before you know it, you'll have 2 or 3 blends that you've never tried before that you absolutely love. So give it a crack, let me know how you get on, and I'll see you next time.
Dreaming the night away, working on a pool.